So this is the all-new Infinix Hot 50i, and I would say that unlike any other budget smartphone that just came out, this might just be the one to get. So starting off with the most noticeable, which is design, we get a new look, which for me looks really nice. But I believe there are two kinds of people buying this phone. People who actually think the design looks good and are buying it because the design looks good, and those who believe the design looks disgusting and are buying this phone otherwise. But yeah, let me know which one you guys are down in the comments. But yeah, it's actually better than last year's model. And some people might think it does look like the Infinix Smart 8, and to that I say yes, it does. But there is some differences. Like the Infinix Smart 8 has a more circular camera module, and the Infinix Hot 50i has a more squared off camera module. Hope you can see that. Still on design, it's made of plastic. It has a plastic rear and frame. But there was a problem I had with the Infinix Hot 50i that I didn't really like, and maybe you guys didn't too, which was the glossy frame. Now Infinix definitely fixed that with the 50i with this matte finish, and I think it's much better. The phone has flat sides which give off a boxy feel, but the edges of the phone are curved, which makes it more comfortable to hold. And if you're asking, the phone has 3 color variants: sage green, titanium gray, and slip black, which is pretty good, but I really like titanium gray more. The sides of the phone consist of a fingerprint scanner and a volume locker. The other side of the phone has a SIM card tray which accepts 2 SIM and a memory card slot. On the top, we have 2 stereo speakers on the top and the bottom, and we also get a headphone jack on the bottom. And the phone also has an IP54 dust and splash resistance, which is pretty good if you ask me. But out of all of that, design is actually really good, especially the looks. But yeah, let's talk about the display. Display, we get 120Hz for the refresh rate, a 6.6-inch screen size, an IPS LCD display, and with that we also get 720p resolution and 500 nits. And you know what? In the past 2 months, I feel like I've mentioned those same display specs more than once. And that's mostly because this same specs has become the norm, or should I say the minimum average for every budget smartphone coming out right now. But yeah, for the most part, the display looks really good. Like the 120Hz that I mentioned earlier is actually an upgrade from the Infinix Hot 40i 90Hz display. And the 6.7-inch screen size, which is an upgrade from the 6.5-inch screen size we got from the older model, which is pretty nice. The bezels, however, are actually noticeable, but everything else is actually decent. Decent resolution, decent refresh rate, decent screen size, and okay brightness. And before I forget, we also get an always on display. And I know what you're thinking, doesn't that only come on AMOLED screens? Yes, it does. I don't know how they did it on this device, but it's good that it's there. For the processor, we get the MediaTek Helio G81. And what you'll notice that the processor is what most of its competitors have. But yeah, out of all of that, the processor is actually pretty good. For basic tasks and just a tad bit of gaming, it's pretty good. So yeah, this isn't a gaming phone, but you can actually game with it. The phone also has 4 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. But that's just for us here in Nigeria. If you're in other parts of the world, maybe you will get higher configuration. But yeah, for the most part, these configurations on this phone are actually good. 4 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage would, I think, be good enough for most people buying this phone. But yeah, keep in mind that it will lag for heavy duty tasks and it will lag for heavy duty games. But yeah, the processor and performance on this device is actually decent for the price. This phone is running on XOS version 14.5 on top of Android 14. And the phone comes with most of these features that comes with Android 14. But there's a lot of bloatware, but out of that, it's really good. But just hope for 1 to 2 years of software updates because it doesn't look likely. I say this because it doesn't look like there will be major software updates. You see, most of my fellow tech tubers talk about how good these cameras on this phone are. And I think I agree. The main camera comes with 48 megapixels and the selfie cam comes with 8 megapixels. and photos are actually pretty nice, especially under sufficient lighting. But I would say it wouldn't get it all the time, but it would get it most of the time. Video on this phone actually looks good. I would say it's not as good as the photos. Just to summarize the whole thing, photos are better than videos when it comes to this device. For battery, we get a 5000 mAh battery, and that's the highest of the battery we get in this price range. But yeah, it's a good battery. It's a battery that could last the whole day. And on moderate use, it should last a lot longer. Typically 8 to 9 hours, thereabouts. For charging, we get 18 watts of charging, and the charging brick also comes in the box. And yeah, it's not the fastest of chargers, but I think this phone is those kind of phones that you just use it in the morning and charge it overnight. And really, that's basically what I think of charging. But let's say you want to charge it in the morning. How long would it take? Let's say 2 hours and 30 minutes plus. But that's just an estimation. You can try it out for yourself. What do I actually think about this phone? I think this phone is actually pretty good with its good display, its better design, its decent performance, its great battery life, all combined together in one device. It might just win the contenders for the best smartphone for the 150k price range. But yeah, definitely let me know what you guys think of the phone and the video down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.